Let me welcome you to this, our first Health, Safety, Security, and the Environmental Conference, hosted by the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies. My name is Adriana Archer. I am the Program Dean for the Security Administration and the Emergency Management Department. Let me share with you some of the areas that we will be covering at this conference. They include cybercrime, human trafficking, gangs of Trinidad and Tobago, disaster risk reduction, CERT or community emergency response teams, fire safety, amongst others. It is critical in any organization that there must be proper security. I would like to take this opportunity to encourage you to attend our first Health, Safety, Security, and the Environment Conference, hosted again by the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Study. I would like to say thank you to the Director of the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies, Dr. Andre Vincent Henry, for allowing us this opportunity to host this conference. If you require further information, you can visit our website at hsse.cclcs.edu.tt.
Hi, welcome to the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies HSSE Conference 2024. My name is Donald Ali. So why should you register for the HSSE Conference 2024? Well, this conference will have groundbreaking outcomes and you should be a part of this. Some of the sub-themes that will be discussed are data privacy and worker safety, and AI and risk prediction, and how we adapt to this technological shift. Be sure to subscribe to all of our social medias for more information as we approach this conference.
It comes naturally to us, unstoppable energy. We share it. We use it to live better. We are manifesting a green and sustainable future. NGC, pursuing sustainability at the forefront of energy.
Let me welcome you to this, our first Health, Safety, Security, and the Environmental Conference, hosted by the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies. My name is Adriana Archer. I am the Program Dean for the Security Administration and the Emergency Management Department. Let me share with you some of the areas that we will be covering at this conference. They include cybercrime, human trafficking, gangs of Trinidad and Tobago, disaster risk reduction, CERT or community emergency response teams, fire safety, amongst others. It is critical in any organization that there must be proper security. I would like to take this opportunity to encourage you to attend our first Health, Safety, Security, and the Environment Conference, hosted again by the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Study. I would like to say thank you to the Director of the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies, Dr. Andre Vincent Henry, for allowing us this opportunity to host this conference. If you require further information, you can visit our website at hsse.cclcs.edu.tt.
Hi, welcome to the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies HSSE Conference 2024. My name is Donald Ali. So why should you register for the HSSE Conference 2024? Well, this conference will have groundbreaking outcomes and you should be a part of this. Some of the sub-themes that will be discussed are data privacy and worker safety, and AI and risk prediction, and how we adapt to this technological shift. Be sure to subscribe to all of our social medias for more information as we approach this conference.
It comes naturally to us. Unstoppable energy. We share it. We use it to live better. We are manifesting a green and sustainable future. NGC, pursuing sustainability at the forefront of energy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andrew Vincent Henry, and I'm the Director of Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies. And I'd invite you to listen attentively as I invite Mr. Donald Ali to give us our safety briefing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the HSSE Conference 2024. You are located at the CLR James Auditorium. There are no planned drills today. In the event of an emergency, you will hear an alarm. Once the alarm is heard, please proceed to the nearest exit, either to the right of the stage or to the back of the auditorium, making a left as you exit the stairs. Once outside, you are required to gather at the open playing field, and only when the building is cleared by the college's safety and health team, you would be invited to re-enter. Washrooms are located to the right of the stairs as you exit the auditorium, or to the left of the stage. Please be reminded that this is a no smoking facility, and do enjoy your time at the college. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. I'll now invite Ms. Lystra Nurse to sing the national anthem. I want to make it clear, my chairman is an audiophile, and he educated us that the national anthem was not made purely for instrumentals, it needs to be sung. So there is a new rule in Cipriani College, the national anthem will always be sung. Ms. Lovis, please stand.
Forth from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare, side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land, we pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
You may be seated. Thank you very much, Ms. Lewis. The Honorable Stephen McClatchy, MP, Minister of Labor in the Government of Trinidad and Tobago, Professor Brian Copeland, Chairman of the Board of Governors of Cipriani College, Dr. Johnny Musambayanda. It will flow freely in due course, but he prefers to be called Johnny. Director of the ILO Decent Work Team and Country Office for the Caribbean, Mr. Sheldon Celino, Deputy Director for Academic Affairs, Dean Adriana Archer, Dean for Security Administration and Management, Dean Barry Parsram, Dean for Occupational Safety and Health, my colleagues, participants present and online, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies. It is my distinct privilege as director to welcome you here and to have you share with us on this important issue of safety, health, and security. Without further ado, I would like to invite the Chairman of the Board of Governors, Professor Brian Copeland, to welcome you. Not just yet, sir. I haven't done you justice yet. Minister, I keep saying this. I have been having a challenge to determine whether my chairman is a social scientist or an engineer. But as a school of social sciences, we prefer to think of him as one of us. We would like to think that having appointed him to our board, you have brought him into the light. Professor Copeland comes, those of you who know the name, Professor Copeland comes to us. His last full-time occupation, although he's fully occupied, even in retirement, was as campus principal and pro-vice chancellor of the St. Augustine campus of the University of the West Indies. If you look at Professor Copeland's resume, or curriculum vitae, properly said, you would realize this has to be something that he's doing out of a love for his country and for people. 2 years ago, as we were reviewing our strategic plan, the college pivoted to a focus, even though that is what we did, to a focus on social justice. And I want to just say in the last 9 months that Professor Copeland has been our Chairman, Minister, we could not have wanted a better partner and leader as we try to find our space as a small institution. His dedication to what we do is nothing short but impressive. He's come to us in an organization that is probably 1/10 of the size of the last place you ran, and we are truly grateful. So it is my distinct pleasure and honor to invite the chairman of the board of Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperatives, Professor Brian Copeland, ORTT, to address you.
Thank you, Andre. I often say that if my complexion were lighter, you'd see me blush. But, to the Honorable Stephen McClatchy, MP, Minister of Labor, Trinidad and Tobago, to our featured speaker, Dr. Johnny Musabayana, Director of the ILO Decent Work Team and Office for the Caribbean, to Dr. Andre Henry, gave those glowing remarks at the beginning, Director of this beloved institution, all colleagues, deans who are here, Adriana Archer, Program Dean for Security Administration, Barry Parasram, Program Dean. Oh, I didn't see that there. Thank you. Makes a big difference. Program Dean, Occupational Safety, Health, and the Environment. All members of the college, all who are staff here at the college, all those who attend this conference, good afternoon. I just wanted to make a quick comment on what Andre said. I learned during my long career as an academic, I studied in engineering, yes. My focus was on, take it easy, Brian, dynamic systems, which is you apply an energy, a stimulus to a system, and it responds. And I got to realize after a while it didn't matter what that system was. It could be hard technology, it could be a motor, it could be people, it could be finances. And there are colleagues, biology, health. There are colleagues, some of my colleagues are studying in those particular areas. So what I'm seeing now is that there's a confluence, if you like, of fields and disciplines. So that's where it comes from, the interest. And we'll take that further at some particular day. But it is my pleasure to welcome everyone again. Those of you who are here in the room, or those of you who are joining us online, welcome to the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies, Health, Safety, Security, and the Environment Conference 2024. Now, I'm told that as of yesterday, we were fast approaching some 700 registered participants from Trinidad and Tobago and across the region. And in this regard, I extend a special Trinidad and Tobago welcome to our participants from Barbados, Grenada, Belize, Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, St. Martin, St. Kitts, Nevis, Suriname, St. Kitts and Nevis, Suriname, Jamaica, Guyana and St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, and the United States of America. Now, while we would have preferred to have you here with us in person, we are grateful that the technology does allow us for fruitful interaction and collaboration. Honorable Minister, it is always my pleasure to welcome you back to your alma mater. You continue to demonstrate your loyalty to the college, and our community is very, very grateful for your commitment and your tangible support. I also extend a warm welcome to the Director of the ILO Decent Work Team and Office for the Caribbean, Dr. Johnny Musabayana. This is the first time that I have the pleasure of meeting you in person, sir. But we've actually started some deep conversations on engineering. But your openness to collaboration and passion for social justice has been relayed to me with enthusiasm by Andre and his team. We look forward to a very fruitful relationship with you as the head of the office in the Caribbean. I want to add my thanks to the respective deans for occupational safety and health, and for security, administration, and management, for they have shown that we at Cipriani are fully capable and ever willing to contribute to national and regional development, even in the face of the many challenges that we face. Now, at the college, we recognize that as society changes, admittedly, though not always for good, it is almost a given that sections of society will be marginalized and left behind. And it is for this reason that we have made social justice the centerpiece of our research and teaching here at CCLCS. We are seeing a convergence of the phenomena that are impacting society and by extension, the world of work. In fact, it was just this past week that the Executive Secretary of the UN Framework for Climate Change asserted that we have 2 years to save the planet. Sounds like an alarmist, but I don't think he's far from the mark. His assertion, in fact, was prompted more by the potentially negative social and economic impact of climate change, much more than its more immediate environmental impact. Indeed, he notes that, and I'm quoting here, none of the Sustainable Development Goals will be possible unless we get the climate crisis under control. I do not believe, as I said before, that he was alarmist. The governments and citizens of this is the only place in the known universe that can support life urgently need to get moving to mitigate climate change impact. I should stick a pin there and say that in the past, when there were challenges in countries the people lived in, they basically pull the stakes up and they move somewhere else. But we're getting to the point where there's nowhere else to go. We have to deal with the problems directly. But then there's the impact of technology that is changing the way work is organized. And that results in some cases, insidious impacts on workers' well-being. The impact of changes in the organization of work was brought to the fore by COVID-19. In the field work that we here at the college have been doing for our project with the Caribbean Development Bank, this theme and the worry that came with it has been a recurring issue. The other aspect of this conference is security. Citizen security is a world of work issue. Workers do not exist in a vacuum. They come to the workplace from communities where an impact of insecurity is felt by citizens. And that has been well documented in the literature. Moreover, the more unsafe a location is, the less likely it is that legitimate economic activity will take place. This clearly represents a hindrance to economic development and the limitation of opportunities for creating avenues for decent work. Now, we are reminded at the college that decent work in conditions of dignity and security is a central pillar of social justice. And so, Honorable Minister, distinguished director, ladies and gentlemen, this conference on one contribution to a safe and health workplace. I actually wrote this overnight. Sorry. This conference is one that I think will truly highlight our contribution to a safe and healthy workplace. We are committed to work to that end. And so again, on behalf of my fellow board members, I'm pleased to welcome you and to wish you a productive 2 days. I will try and find a computer those pieces that seem to have been deleted in my anxiety to get here. All right, so thank you very much, and all the best for the next 2 days.
Thank you, Chairman. This conference is the brainchild of Deans Archer and Paris Ram. And so to tell you a little bit about their vision, I will first call Dean Adriana Archer to share the vision for the conference. I want to acknowledge the partnership she has with Dr. Julie Samaru and the very distinguished Mr. McDonald Jacobs in the security department. Just to let you know, you would see by her bearing, Adriana is a former police officer, and she keeps the rest of us in check with appropriate threats and inducements. Adriana.
Thank you, Dr. Henry. The Honorable Stephen McClatchy, MP, Minister of Labor, Trinidad and Tobago. Professor Brian Copeland, PhD, ORIT, Chairman, Board of Governors, Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies. Dr. Joni Musabayana, Director of the ILO Decent Work Team and Office of the Caribbean. My fellow colleagues, distinguished guests, delegates, students, ladies and gentlemen, and all of you who are online throughout the region and internationally. Good afternoon. CCLCS is an institution that is a well-kept secret. This is a quote from the director of the college, Dr. Andre Vincent Henry. In co-hosting this conference with my colleague from the Occupational Safety and Health and the Environment Department, I hope that we will no longer be that well-kept secret, but that this secret as to who we are and what we do here at the college will become known. This conference will bring together experts in the fields of health, safety, security, and the environment, and emergency management. The conference will seek to showcase a body of information that could only assist in the development of our country and in keeping with our mandate of social justice for all citizens of this country and throughout the region. The title of this conference is Safeguarding Lives and Livelihood, Challenges in Health, Safety, and Security. Through our esteemed presenters and you, our delegates, we will seek to develop workable solutions that would assist in the fight against crime and, by extension, make our country a more comfortable place to live in. This is about continuous building and development. Security experts, they view, or rather, they contend that security is the protector or guardian of organizations or your workplaces. I would like to add to that your country and also your homes. It's about being safe wherever you are. It is a fundamental human need, and together with health and safety, it seeks to bring about that overall protection that we are all entitled to. At the end of this conference, I would like to see workable solutions that can form part of that body of knowledge that emphasizes changes in behavior in societies that can assist in mitigating conflicts and eradicating criminal activities such as human trafficking, cybercrime, gang activities. And to add to this, there are disasters that must be managed, such as our recently oil spill in Tobago, earthquakes, hurricanes, storms, among others. Solutions can be achieved through meaningful dialogue and collaboration with various bodies and stakeholders, and a burning desire to make your country a better place. Let us work together to reaffirm our beliefs in adhering to moral principles and ethical living as it should be. Inevitably, there must be someone that we can trust to be safe. Thank you all for coming, and have a great conference, everyone.
Thank you very much, Adri. Security Administration and Management and Occupational Safety and Health are the two largest programs in our repertoire here at the college. And we are indeed very proud of the work that is done by Adriana and Barry. Our occupational health and safety program is one that we take special pride in. Our OSH program here at the college is accredited by the Institute for Occupational Health and Safety, IOSH. Therefore, the qualifications received, the certification received by our students here at Cipriani is a very portable one across the world. The process of receiving IOSH certification under the guidance of the Deputy Director for Academic Affairs and our Manager for Quality Assurance was driven by our Dean, Barry Parasram. Barry is a former student and therefore a product of Cipriani, and it is always good to welcome and to see the value that we can add to lives. So without further ado, I invite Dean Barry Parasram. Obviously, he has some fans in the house.
Honorable Stephen McClashy, Minister of Labour and Member of Parliament, Professor Brian Copeland, Chairman, Board of Governors, Cipriani College, Dr. Johnny Musambayana, Chair, ILO, Caribbean, Dr. Andre Henry, Director, Cipriani College, Mr. Sheldon Celino, Deputy Director, Cipriani College, special guests, colleagues, delegates, the hundreds of you who are here and are online. Earlier on, Professor Copeland said 700 or just around 700 yesterday. As of 5 p.m., we are over 750. At its 110th session in June 2022, the International Labour Conference decided to include a safe and healthy working environment in the ILO's framework of fundamental principles and rights at work, and to designate the Occupational Safety and Health Convention 1981, that's C-155, and the Promotional Framework for Occupational Safety and Health Convention 2006, that's C-187, as fundamental conventions. This means that a safe and healthy working environment now stands as a fundamental principle and right at work. Despite its significance, OSH in the Caribbean has been a neglected issue, underscored by the fact that no more than 5 countries in the Caribbean have ratified the C-155, and only one country, Director, only one country has ratified the C-187. On this backdrop, it must be noted that every year, 2.6 million deaths stem from work-related diseases, while an additional 300,000 deaths result from work accidents. This is close to 3 million every year. In addition, it is estimated that 395 million workers sustain at least one non-fatal work injury every year. These are some alarming statistics. As a result, the conference aims to address issues impacting OSH in the Caribbean, particularly the poor understanding of OSH management systems, lack of knowledge due to insufficient data, inadequate policy legislation, an institutional framework for OSH in the Caribbean, and the persistence of work-related injuries and diseases that are preventable. The conference will therefore include panel discussions and presentations of research that will contribute to some of the issues identified. The panels will include discussions surrounding climate change and worker protection, AI and risk prediction, mental health resilience, human-centric technology design, green practices in the informal sector, diversity and inclusion in the informal sector, data privacy and worker safety, and resilient workplaces, among others. It is desired that at the end of this, an association of Caribbean OSH professionals will be born out of this. And I want to repeat that again because we don't have that. It is desired that at the end of this conference, an association of Caribbean OSH professionals will be born at the end of this conference, and therefore aid in bridging the gap, particularly regarding OSH regulation and policy in the Caribbean. As I close, I want us to spare a thought for the 15 miners who died in Suriname in 2023, in November 2023, just in one accident. And just maybe, we can contribute over the next 2 days to ensure that the probability of this happening is significantly reduced. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to HSSE 2024. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Barry. Informative and sobering. And we just changed the tempo a little bit, even as we let that sink in. And I am happy to invite Lystra to come back. Did you write this one specially for today, Lystra? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Gosh, no, I could do better than that. Good evening, everyone. Great. So I am Lystra Nurse. I am a former student of Cipriani College. So it is my pleasure to be here. The last time I was here on the stage was for my graduation. So I am proud to be standing on the stage today. I'm about to sing a calypso that was written by me. So yes, I'm also a calypsonian. I go by the sobriquet Lady Lystra. And the calypso is a prayer for Trinbago. And when I was called to perform today, I was thinking about R&Bs and all kind of songs. And I said, look, I will sing my calypso, because when I look back into the lyrics of the calypso, it falls into the theme of safeguarding lives and livelihood and the challenges that we face. So listen to the lyrics. Do not listen to the voice. Listen to the lyrics, and then you will define if this calypso can be themed as safeguarding lives and livelihood with regards to physical, spiritual, and mental wellness for people in our society, and not just Trinidad and Tobago, but the world. Our Father, which art in heaven, we need your divine intervention in situations in this land. I'm calling on you, God, there's no one to call again. Some people in Bago possessed with killing. As a mother, my belly just start to boil because of all the blood on the soil. Some people don't have love for each other again. So watching people's back for the wrong things, while some trying to live right and make it in life. Others just don't care and just snatching life. I am praying, Jesus Christ, Lord of Lords, look down on Trinbago's floors. From east, west, north, and south, you can hear the shout, another murder. Oi, 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 oi. Lord, put a hand. Another murder. Oi, 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 oi. The murdered and the murderers getting younger. Everyone who Every day when I search local media, another one gone, another murder. Like there are demons roving this land. Somebody always dying by somebody's hand. Killers don't care who you be, and if they can kill you, they kill your family. Forgetting that Jesus Christ is the boss. Their mission is to kill without remorse. So I am praying, Jesus Christ, Lord of Lords, look down on Trinbago's Lord. From east, west, north, and south, you can hear the shout. Oi, 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 oi. Lord, put a hand. Oi, 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 oi. The murdered and the murderers getting younger. Everyone who can, come join me in prayer for the loving Trinbago to be repaired. Oh, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. These words came from Almighty God. Like they don't care or they just don't think. Soon human race may become extinct. All religions, east, west, north, and south, come together, pray them demons. United we stand, divided we fall. Come on, heed this prayer call. Let us all pray. Jesus Christ, Lord of Lords, look down on Trinbago's Lord. From east, west, north, and south, you can hear the shout. Oi, 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 oi. Lord, put a hand. Oi, 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 oi. The murdered and the murderers getting younger. Everyone who can, come join me in prayer for the love in Trinbago to be repaired. I am calling on the Muslim and Hindu community, the Christian, Spiritual, Baptist, Shango, and Orisha brothers and sisters. Let all come together with one voice, raise with a great shout to pray them demons out. God said, if my people called by my name shall humble themselves and come together and pray, I will heal their land. Come on, sound the horn. This is a prayer call. Come on. Everyone who can, come join me in prayer for the loving Trinbago to be repaired. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Listra. The last director of the office in Port of Spain came during COVID-19, and he wasn't able to take up his position for several months because of travel restrictions. And just when, but once we met Dennis, it was really a good relationship. And Dennis espoused a remarkable vision for the office in Port of Spain. And then I heard that Dennis was leaving, and I was driven to the edge of panic. But I think the DG did exceptionally well, sir, by sending us Johnny. Although he came to us from Africa, I think he came from the West Indies and went to Africa because he feels like one of us. The cosmopolitan way he has just fitted in. But beyond a very charismatic personality, he brings a deep sense of commitment to social justice, to equity and fairness. And he is determined, from what he says and by what he's done so far, to make sure that is expressed in a tangible way. If I were to go through some of the things that we've been able to accomplish together, some of the commitments made, it will take up some time. But he has not only made himself available, he's made his staff available. We had a wonderful exchange with Abdel Malik. John Blick is our, as we say in Trinidad, our riding partner. And Vera has always been there for us. So, Johnny, I thank you for what you've started to do, and we look forward to an excellent collaboration and partnership. So it is with great honor and pleasure that I welcome you to address us.
Well, when you started to talk about me and you used the word panic, I thought you were going to say you are continuing to panic. Honorable Minister Stephen McClatchy, Minister of Labor for the country of Trinidad and Tobago, Professor Brian Copeland, Chairman of the Board of Governors. We only just met, but we already debated. Dr. Andre Henry, the Director of Cipriani College of Labor, Cooperative Studies. And let me ride on previous speakers and say all protocol observed. It is an honor for me to be here on behalf of the International Labour Organization. The theme of this event, Safeguarding Lives and Livelihoods, Challenges in Health, Safety and Security, comes at a pivotal time as the world of work continues to evolve through new and innovative modalities of work set up against the backdrop of increasing risks. I think COVID and its impact is still very much in our minds. Workers have long been exposed to many risks in the workplace, ranging from biological, chemical, and physical hazards to psychosocial and economic hazards. Many workers lose their lives each year, and I ride on Barry with the numbers that you have just given us, which are indeed astounding. Many more are suffering from debilitating work-related injuries and chronic conditions. Despite these dangers, adequate occupational safety and health measures to prevent accidents and diseases at work are often lacking in many countries, and I'll come back to this in the context of the Caribbean region. New dynamics and mega trends such as digitalization, artificial intelligence, demographic shifts, and climate change are transforming the labor market. And these have relevant implications for occupational health and safety. Occupational safety and health policies can enhance decent work for all workers by integrating health and safety needs of all groups of workers, addressing inequalities in occupational health and safety practice. As a result, workplaces can effectively promote equal access to safe and health working environments, occupational health and safety services, and healthcare. I'm proud to say that since the ILO's founding in 1919, one of our core objectives has been to promote safe and healthy working environments globally. Over the years, the ILO has adopted more than 40 occupational safety and health international standards, and well more than 40 related occupational health and safety specific codes of practice. And I can add that there is no other area of work that the ILO has released more body of work than on occupational health and safety. In the past 2 decades, the ILO has celebrated the World Day for Safety and Health at the Work every 28th of April. This annual international event raises widespread awareness of the importance of occupational safety and health and promotes a global preventative safety and health culture. This year's theme exposes the impacts of climate crisis on safety and health and encourages a preventative approach to mitigating the risks that will safeguard the lives and livelihoods of workers. Global observances encourage countries to address occupational health hazards exacerbated by climate change, including heat, stress, radiation, air pollution, major industrial accidents, extreme weather events, and increased exposure to chemicals. Such hazards have been linked to dangerous consequences, including injuries, cancer, cardiovascular disease, respiratory conditions, increases in vector-borne diseases that can lead to epidemics and also impact on the psychosocial health and often cause death. These challenges will likely continue to get worse until we take drastic measures. Dear all, in June 2022, the International Labour Conference, as Barry has already indicated, adopted occupational safety and health with these two conventions, Convention 155 and 189, as fundamental principles and rights at work. What does this really mean? It means that every country which is a member of the International Labour Organization, all 189 countries and territories, must therefore, by being members of the ILO, sign up to these two conventions. When you are a member of the ILO, a fundamental convention makes it obligatory on you to ratify. It's no longer, let's say, a sovereign choice. Every member has to ratify. So what does this picture look like in the Caribbean? And Barry has already told us of the Convention 155, among the 13 countries that we cover, only 5 have signed up so far. And these are Antigua and Barbuda, Belize, Grenada, Guyana, and St. Lucia. Minister, I guess I'm exposing you here. I apologize. I hope we can continue to be friends after this. And when it comes to Convention 189, remarkably, only one country in the Caribbean region has signed up. I started by saying when a convention is adopted as a fundamental principle and right, it's obligatory on member states to ratify. This picture of very low ratification, and I agree with you, Barry, it shows that the commitment of the region at the ratification stage is very low. But what does ratification really mean? When you ratify, you then have to domesticate. In other words, you have to upgrade your laws to live up to this international standard that will have been agreed upon as enshrined in the convention. By not ratifying, the region is making a very stark statement that we are not yet at liberty to raise our level of commitment on occupational health and safety to this global standard. Think about that for a moment. When you have ratified, you then have to upgrade your law. So, let us look a little bit at what does labor law look like in the region. To be honest, given where I'm coming from, this has been the biggest surprise for me. The state of labor law in this region, I have no other word but to say outdated. We have amongst us, the oldest piece that I've seen so far is from 1860. I'm talking about labor law in general, and I'll come to the reality of occupational health and safety. One of our CARICOM member states has a piece of legislation from 1860. The majority of our labor laws are from the colonial time. I've often joked, Honorable Minister, as I go around the region, to say, I think if the British knew that this is what independence meant, they would have given it to us a long time ago, because we are going to continue to commit, to bind ourselves to the laws that they put in place such a long time ago. The process of updating the laws is therefore very urgent. And you are right, Dr. Henry, I hope I can bring the passion and the commitment to this region to say this is no longer acceptable. I'm coming from Africa. We suffer the same fate of colonialization. But I can assure you of one thing. We are ridding ourselves of those laws. We want to commit ourselves to the laws that are fit for purpose for the labor market of the 21st century. Thank you. And in this regard, in ILO, the ILO that I lead, you have a partner. This is the most urgent task. If after my job is done here, I can say I helped the Caribbean region to update their laws, to rid themselves from the commitments of colonial relic, I will say I did my part. The process of labor law reform in this region is painful from the experience I've seen so far. Most bills are no less than 5 years old, draft bills. That means tripartite negotiation, technical people, ratification of conventions. Now let's put it into law. We have draft bills that are 5 years and older, the majority of them. What does that mean? It means that the reality of 5 years ago is what we were trying to legislate for. But the labor market has already changed. It means by the time these bills are passed into law, they are already outdated. When it comes to occupational health and safety, we have labor law going on. Let me mention a few countries: Jamaica, Belize, Trinidad and Tobago. As I go around the region, I'm sure I will add more to this list. And all of those processes started 5 years and longer. We urgently need a much more rapid labor law reform process. And I'm using the word reform as distinct from labor law amendment. Amendment means this is the act largely left to us by the British. We change this section, we change that section, but we keep the bulk of the law. Labor law reform means we look at the labor market, we see what is required for the labor market of the Caribbean of today, and we write a new law. Surely it is within our intellectual capability to write the new laws. Beyond legislation, I therefore want to associate myself with a call by Barry for the creation of a community of practice in occupational health and safety. If there are physically here, online, and in spirit, some 750, there's a lot of us. There's a lot of goodwill. Let us make it a point not only to come again next year, and I say to you, Dr. Henry, if you call me again next year, only next year to talk about these very same things, I won't come. I want to come in the next 3 months. I want to come in the next 6 months. I want to come in the next 9 months. For us to commit ourselves to a program of action and to hold each other to account on what will we do so that when we come here next year, we can be reflecting on the progress that we have made. So as I conclude, I look forward to this community of practice. I commit to make myself available. I commit to make my occupational health and safety specialist available and to bring the expertise and competencies in Geneva to support this community of practice and to see the program of action. You are very right, madam. What are the concrete deliverables that this conference will produce that we hold ourselves to, not only here in Trinidad and Tobago, but throughout the whole region? And for inspiration, this is not such a novel idea. It has already been done, so we can only cut and paste. On social security, which is an element of the labor market, they already have a community for Caribbean research on social security based at the University of the West Indies. This committee unites academia, seasoned practitioners, influential regional organizations, and international partners. And their collaborative efforts thus are on ensuring long-term sustainability and viability of health and social protection systems across the Caribbean. So let's take that model and let's apply it to occupational safety and health. As we transition toward an environmentally sustainable economy and society across the Caribbean, our commitment to occupational health and safety should transcend national boundaries. By fostering dialogue, knowledge exchange, and collaborative effort, we can drive positive change and safeguard the well-being of our workforce. Occupational health and safety policies and legislation should anticipate evolving work processes, promote environmentally friendly practices, and safeguard workers from hazardous conditions. I want to conclude on this note. Thank you very much, Dr. Henry, for your kind words of introduction about me. I hope I live to your lofty aspirations and expectations of me leading the island, the region, but I commit to the partnership with the Cipriani College. I thank you for your convening power. To bring 750 people to one cause at one time is a big achievement. I thank you for that. We want to be partners with you and to see how collectively we can work towards making the Caribbean region that we all aspire for. I thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now that's a lot to digest. Sometimes it's necessary for us to have as one trade unionist, one member of the board told me once, sometimes it's necessary to have the awkward conversation. So we thank you very much. I want to commit our institution to work with you, especially on the creation of that community of practice. It's something that Barry has been speaking about, and we believe that there is strength in that. As we conducted the research project that we're doing for the Caribbean Development Bank, the recurrent theme of anxiety, both in terms of physical health and safety, but also in terms of mental and socio-psychological well-being, is one that we're seeing. We quote frequently the research done by the International Trade Union Confederation, which conducts a global poll every 2 years. And one constant theme in the top line findings is worker anxiety. I think we have an obligation in the Caribbean, because when we look at our internal resilience capacity, Chairman, the other things that we've been looking at, we recognize our space is so limited. The risks are so high that we can't afford to make mistakes. I am particularly moved by the point that the dynamism of the world of work and laws that we started to draft 5 years ago are probably outdated even before they come into being. So, on that note, let's hear some pan. So I'm going to invite Mr. Joshua Joseph. Yeah. Joshua, you're not one of our former students. And you still make the cut? And remember, you have Professor Brian Copeland in the audience. You better do well. No pressure. The director of the ILO office spoke about the intellectual capacity of the region. The creative capacity of the region is obvious. Cipriani College is unique in the education system in the country. Almost all other education institutions fall under the Ministry of Education. In his wisdom, when the Cipriani College was established back in 1966, our first Prime Minister, the determination was made that the college would fall under the Ministry of Labor. That has, to my mind, many advantages. Some challenges, but more advantages than challenges. It also helps when you have a minister who publicly acknowledges the contribution of the institution to his own development. And in my first meeting with Minister McClatchy in August 2020, when he first took office, one of the first things he very proudly told me is that he's an alumnus of the college. And he's an honest man. So when he told me that it was the most significant professional development for him, I believe him and I continue to believe him. And I continue to believe him because his dedication to the college is obvious. He has made himself available to us. Sometimes some members of my staff make approaches to him that I didn't know about before. But that kind of accommodation is what I like to think is part of the Cipriani spirit in him. I am very grateful to serve under his leadership, and it is my honor to invite him to address us.
Thank you, Dr. Henry. It is always my pleasure to be here at the Cipriani Labor College, and particularly when I come to events like these that says the mandate I have given to the college is being fulfilled. So I would like to acknowledge the chairman of the board, Dr. Copeland, the director of the institution, Dr. Henry, my newly minted good friend, Dr. John Musabayama. He is quite an interesting guy. Just a tidbit is that he played, he played basketball for Zimbabwe, was it? For over 15 years. And therefore it speaks about discipline, it speaks about direction, it speaks a whole lot of things when you see somebody involved at the national level for that long. I am sure we will have lots of fun times. I would also like to acknowledge the various deans of the school, the lecturers, the students, the participants, and in particular, I see in the audience that I'm among good folk. I see some old colleagues of mine from a past work life. I see colleagues of mine from some, my JC's colleagues. I acknowledge you. And I have a number of friends and so on, and therefore I know I'm in good company when we are talking serious business and we have that many people that I know around. So it is indeed a pleasure for me to be back at the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies this evening to bring remarks at this opening ceremony of the HSSE Conference 2024. I wish to congratulate the chairman, members of the board, and staff of the college for designing and staging this conference and exhibition in keeping with the Ministry of Labor's vision for Cipriani. I am firm in my conviction that this college has an obligation to ensure that it responds to the emerging challenges in the world of work through the provision of various academic programs and resources. I am grateful and gratified that you are doing so, and I encourage you to continue. I also give an assurance that as your line minister, you can continue to count on the Ministry of Labor's support. From my discussions with the director of the college, it will be remiss of me if I did not pay tribute to two deans who have conceptualized, designed, and organized this conference. I wish to therefore salute Dean Barry Parasram and Dean Adriana Archer. I must also acknowledge the leadership provided to the academic division of the college by the very able Deputy Director, Mr. Sheldon Solino. This institution that I respect, cherish, and to which I am grateful for its contribution to my own development is in safe hands. I am also very pleased to be sharing the stage this evening with the new director of the International Labor Office Decent Work Team and Office for the Caribbean, Dr. Joni Musabayana. Dr. Musabayana, I wish to acknowledge your commitment to social justice and to the hard work that it requires. Your promise to increase the footprint and impact of the ILO in Trinidad and Tobago and the region is most welcome. And as of today, I have begun that challenge, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I had the honor of attending the 110th session of the International Labor Conference, when the Declaration on Fundamental Principles and Rights of Work was amended to include a safe and healthy workplace as one of the core international labor standards. The statistics tell us that in the Caribbean, we have to do work. There were 100 work-related fatalities in Guyana over the past 4 years, 40 in Trinidad over the last 2 years, and 15 in Suriname on one day last year. One workplace death is too many, and the global figures tell a sad story. According to the ILO, there are 2.78 million deaths every year resulting from workplace accidents and work-related illnesses. It is important to note, while fatalities might be a stark and compelling indicator of gaps in the occupational health and safety, there are the less dramatic injuries and near misses that do not result in death, but still have an impact on the workplace. Too many amputees, too many blind people, too many one-handed people, too many sick people, too many people with lung disease, too many people with too many things. Moreover, there is the silent, dark side of mental well-being, or lack thereof, that can be crippling to individual workers and their workplaces. Issues of mental wellness carry a double jeopardy. The first is the harm being suffered, and the second is that because of the stigma and ignorance, many persons suffer in silence, making it even worse. As the world of work continues to evolve, we know that in addition to the old risks faced by workers, new ones will continue to emerge. This complexity of nonlinear developments in the world of work require us to make sense of the changing environment and to keep abreast if not get ahead of them. As I think of safe and healthy workplaces, I realize that we should not only be thinking at the national level, but it is equally important to take a regional view. When CSME becomes a reality, we have to be prepared. Indeed, I think even now, with the increases in commuting within the region, the Caribbean workplace is becoming more and more integrated. Therefore, the question now arises, how do we influence organizations to understand that occupational safety and health is a vital component of sustainable and responsible business practices? And how do we convince organizations that the well-being of workers is priority? There are countries in the Caribbean with occupational safety and health or workplace protection regulations that are over 100 years old, and some with no regulations at all. Yet, we grapple against a changing work environment with emerging hazards. This year, the ILO has stated that the theme of World Day for Safety and Health at Work is, and I quote, "the impacts of climate change on occupational safety and health." And just permit me just to do a sidebar here. With changing weather patterns, just today I was reading the news on my phone, which indicated that a number of Middle Eastern countries were having serious flood, and that flood was covering homes, and it just blew my mind that in regions that you did not hear of floods before, or who weren't prone to floods because they're essentially deserts, that you now have those impending kinds of issues. So changing weather patterns have notable impacts on the world of work, particularly affecting workers' safety and health. Examples of occupational risk exacerbated by climate change include heat stress, UV radiation, air pollution, major industrial accidents, extreme weather events, an increase in vector-borne diseases, and the increased exposure to chemicals. How many of us run from Sahara dust? It is therefore our responsibility to move swiftly to adapt to the changing environment by considering the following. In an act of strong vision, Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies has mainstreamed social justice in its vision, mission, and guiding principles. OSH in the workplace contributes to social justice by reducing inequalities and protecting vulnerable workers. It is particularly crucial for marginalized groups, including migrant workers, women and young workers, who may face heightened risk due to factors such as language barriers, discrimination, or lack of training. OSH is integral to achieving several sustainable development goals, including goal number 8, decent work and economic growth, goal 3, good health and well-being, and goal 1, no poverty. By promoting OSH, countries contribute to building resilient, inclusive societies towards global development objectives. It is our responsibility to influence change in legal frameworks and regulations to protect workers' safety and health rights. These laws will require employers to implement OSH measures, conduct risk assessment, provide training, and consult with workers and their representatives. Compliance with OSH regulations is essential for upholding worker rights and preventing workplace accidents and illnesses. While these are just 3 areas that we can contribute to, they will certainly result in positive gains for workers and organizations alike. These gains include, firstly, reduction of cost. Investing in OSH can result in long-term cost savings for organizations. By preventing accidents and illnesses, companies can avoid the direct costs associated with medical treatment, compensation claims, and litigation. Additionally, indirect costs such as lost productivity, training replacements, and damage to equipment or property are minimized. Secondly, enhancement of productivity. Safe and healthy workplaces contribute to enhanced productivity. When workers feel safe and secure, they are more likely to focus on their task without fear of injury or illness. Moreover, a healthy workforce is more energetic, engaged, and motivated, leading to higher levels of productivity and efficiency. And finally, improvement of employee morale and retention. A commitment to OSH demonstrates to employees that their well-being is valued by the organization. This fosters a positive work culture built on trust and mutual respect, leading to higher levels of job satisfaction and employee retention. Workers are more likely to remain loyal to companies that prioritize their health and safety. We should also acknowledge that there are glaring profits to be made from work without protection as persons are forced to work in unsafe conditions. Just last month, the ILO produced a report that stated the annual profits from forced labor is US $236 billion, a 37% increase from 2014, which is gathered from the 27.6 million people engaged in forced labor on any given day. It is about time that the legal framework is strengthened to ensure that a safe and healthy working environment is not only a fundamental principle and right, but also a basic human right at work. So I just gave myself some advice. In closing, I wish to reiterate that upholding these rights is essential for protecting health, promoting social justice, and thus achieving sustainable economic development. I would have said to the board at its inauguration that the Cipriani College must be at the forefront of change both in the industrial relations climate and in the health and safety arena. The college has to put in its strategic plans and intent to make Cipriani the leading light in achieving that which we know can be achieved. We have to be the ones to sell the labor story, the health and safety story. We have to take responsibility and accountability for developing those areas within the national interest. So, again, I will close how I started by saying, having taken up that mandate, I am particularly proud that we are seeing strides at Cipriani that we have not seen for a long time. So, Professor Copeland, And Dr. Henry, I urge you to continue doing what you're doing because you're doing it well. I thank you.
I just want to make an observation, Minister. When you were talking about the work that we need to do together, my gaze was fixed on Narendra Balrup. Narendra is the senior planning officer and you see you have the man worried, Minister. Look at how he looks, yeah, at the amount of work we have to do. Thank you very much, Minister. I think I speak on behalf of my chairman. We are deeply grateful for your commitment and encouraged by your words. And I know I speak on behalf of the team here at Cipriani. And now it's my pleasure to invite Mr. Sheldon Solino to offer our vote of thanks. Shel?
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the responsibility of saying thanks on behalf of the institution. Thanks to all those who would have made this opening ceremony and the upcoming conference, I want to say a success, even though it hasn't come as yet. Firstly, we want to say thank you to the Honorable Minister, Stephen McClatchy, and your continued support of the college. The thoughts you shared today on mental health and climate change and the impact on the world of work, we take that on board, and I'm sure that will be part of the discussions over the next 2 days. Dr. Johnny Musambayana, Director of the ILO Caribbean Office, he brought global and regional perspectives on OSH and the work that is being done by the ILO, the drive to update our labor legislation. We thank you for being here with us tonight, and the director has already shared the commitment to work with the ILO and the college. We take that on board, and it's something that we'll be doing during your tenure. Our chairman, Professor Brian Copeland, the chairman of the Board of Governors, he emphasized the importance of social justice. He spoke about the impact of climate change and technology on the world of work. We want to thank you for your continued strategic leadership of the institution, Chairman. Our director, Dr. Andrew Vincent Henry, for his continued stewardship of the institution, particularly the research trust that he has put the institution on, and this conference today is one of the outcomes of that trust. So we thank you, Director, for your leadership. The program deans for occupational safety and health, and also for security, administration, emergency, and management, Barry and Adriana. And without you, tonight would not have been possible, and the 2 days to come would also not have been possible with your meticulous leadership on the project. So we look forward to the 2 days, and we thank you for your leadership on the project. The staff members of the college who made all of this happen today, we say thank you as well. It's a number of persons behind the scene working to make sure that this event takes place. So we say thank you, and they would be here throughout the next couple of days working to ensure that the event is a success. Our stakeholders, very important. They made both financial and other tangible contributions to this event. I want to mention the National Gas Company, Blue Waters, Angostura, our Student Guild, the Prison Officers Association, SM General Contracting Services. We say a heartfelt thank you to all of you for your contribution to this event and to the next couple of days. The entertainment, which I'm sure we all enjoyed from Listra and Joshua, we say thank you for that as well. To those here with us tonight, and those joining online, and those joining over the next 2 days, all of the presenters, most important as well, and the delegates. We say thank you for participating in this event and this opening ceremony, and we look forward to the next 2 days of discussions and deliberations. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Shell. I just need to exercise privilege and say special thanks to the decorator, Samuel. He's not here. It's actually the corporate secretary who did the decoration for here, and so he has some talent. So Sam, he's too tired to be here. Sam, thank you. If you're hearing, somebody will relay that to Sam. As Shell said, we are the beneficiaries of the generosity of Angostura. So we do have a cocktail bar. Let me give you directions for those of you who don't know. Up the steps, down the steps, to the right, through the doors, and you will hear the music. Yeah. So let's go. I think Joshua, you joining us. Josh will be there. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This has been great, and we came in 2 minutes under our designated time. God bless you. Joshua.